Iryna Zarutska. And so I was going to save her to be one of our loaded grok little 5-minute bits because it didn't fit in neatly anywhere. And that was not political violence, but the reaction to it was very political. There was almost no coverage out of any member of the press about the murder, especially when you compare it to like a George Floyd type thing. I don't need to pull this up, but
initially until
they had no choice.
Right, people kept calling them out on it.
Yeah, like Axios. Everything just reset or rebooted or refreshed. I'll give it a second. Okay, whatever. But Axios, their first thing about it was basically that this murder in North Carolina is becoming a MAGA war cry or a MAGA cause. And so you go, okay, like their first reporting on it is that MAGA people are reporting on it. And then it's become like they've taken an interest, and it's not the details of it, it's not the murder. But the problem is with this, the reason I was going to bring it up is reaction to it's real. What the right wing, so the political right is making note of, white woman killed by a black guy, no press coverage, no big cause, no murals. Whereas George Floyd, a felon and all that. Yeah, here was Axios' post was the gruesome video of the fatal knife attack on Iryna Zarutska on a light rail car in Charlotte is drawing attention from MAGA influencers seeking to elevate the issue of violent urban crime and accuse mainstream media of undercovering shocking cases. Well, they undercovered it. It was a shocking case. She had her throat cut while sitting minding her own business. It's a bad thing. And the guy had been arrested, 17 times or something, some of which for violent crimes, which speaks to DAs who are being too soft and not holding violent criminals accountable. But people went further than that. There's a lot of accounts online, and we're seeing this right now. There's a lot of, I would say, foreign influence and bot accounts. If you don't think you follow any foreign influence accounts, unless you follow only people you know, you do. I am confident I follow half a dozen at least that are attempting to influence me one way or the other. Some are more pro Arab world, some are definitely more pro right wing, and I don't think I have any left wing influencer accounts, but outside of like Palestinian type stuff.
Oh, we censor those.
Yeah. But either way, I think I find it interesting to see where it's posting. So with Iryna, a lot of it was pushing racial division. It was, she was white, he was black. How come we never talk about it this way? We only talk about it when it's a black guy killed. This girl couldn't be more innocent, which is true. She was here, hiding from Ukraine. She was a refugee, which automatically should get you some points on the left. A Ukrainian refugee comes to America for safety and gets murdered. But things were really stoking the racial tensions. There was a whole lot of, how come it's always black people, whatever it was. But basically the theme, it always seems to be black people doing this crime. And some would quote actual statistics, the prevalence of a black person murdering a white person is much higher than a white person killing a black person. I think that even is true after you factor cops into the mix. But if you take cops out, if you want to, it's very disproportionate, and that's true. Most ethnic groups are murdered by their own ethnic group outside of Asians. Asians don't kill themselves as much as other people kill them. I forget it. It's either black people or Hispanic people kill Asians the most out of people killing Asians in America. But anyway, so there's all this racial division stuff, and you go, all right, this is a bad story. This is a tragic thing that happened. This is a murder, but we're being purposefully divided. People were trying to jump on. I don't need to show this video. Let me load these things. People, and I think good-meaning people. Here, we'll show these folks right here. Come on. All right. So these people were sitting across the hall or across the aisle when she got her throat cut, and then she like falls on the ground, and they don't get up to help, but they they try to get off. They walk away basically, and she bleeds out. And so a lot of people are then pointing, and they're people just listening. All three of them black. It's a black woman and two dudes. And so people are like, these cowards, they should have helped. Like, what's wrong with these people? Our society is so messed up. Our society is so callous. A grown-ass man just pulled out a knife and murdered somebody in front of these three people. These are just people coming home from work. You want this woman in front to jump up and fight the man who just killed another woman already? And these other two guys, the guy in the middle, he doesn't look that big. The guy in the back looks like he might be a little older. I don't know. Either way, I think it's unfair to judge these people's character because after they watched a man who callously murdered someone with a knife, who still had the knife in his hand, who is now standing up while they are seated, and you go, why didn't you all... I mean, don't get me wrong. There's heroic acts when people do that kind of stuff. When they jump up and disarm a man and all that. It is heroic, but it's not... If you're not that brave in that moment, that doesn't mean the rest of your character's in question. It doesn't mean you're a callous human being. And I think some emotional people were making that argument, and I disagree with it. And probably some people trying to divide us still. They didn't care because she was white, probably, that kind of thing. We're just at this point where we're not seeing each other's perspectives at all. We see through the lens of the worst possible reason behind a word or an action or a belief. You can't believe that we have to enforce our immigration policies and our border policies unless you're hateful and you hate Hispanics and you're a fascist. Other than that, there's no good reason. It's taking everybody the worst possible deal. Were you going to jump in with something?
Well, I was just going to say, if those people who were judging these for sitting, after the man walks down the car a ways, a person of a darker skin tone comes to try and do what he can to stop her bleeding out. I mean, at some point. Yeah. But they chose to not focus on that.
Sure. And I guess these people are the closest, but they're also closest to the murderer. And I can tell you, I mean, it can't be comfortable watching someone die in front of your eyes at the hands of another person. A person who is willing to kill. I mean, this guy just walked on the train, saw her, sat behind her, slit her throat, and then afterwards said she said the N-word, which she didn't. And maybe he's crazy and he hears things. But even if she did say it, that's crazy.
She didn't say a word. She was in shock.
She didn't say a word the whole time. Yeah, like
she was just looking at her phone. She comes up behind her, does his thing, and she's just like in terror.
Well, and I think he tried to claim that the reason he did it was she said the N-word.
She's or called sitting there quietly.
Yeah, she didn't say damn. You can see she doesn't say anything. And these other people know. So he even gets up and I got the white girl, and then she called me N-word. All of them know that didn't happen. They're sitting there. They saw you just walk on the train, sit there for a second, and go, I'm going to murder that girl now. So, yeah, he's crazy, and he's armed.
And, I mean, based on all the priors, I think dude likes prison.
He's not afraid of it.
That's the only thing, it was so random.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he needed something to go back for life. He was that institutionalized. It's possible. He could just be a